Welcome to the Endless Entrepreneurs YouTube channel. My name is Luke Henson. I am a eBay seller, a real estate investor, and I also do contract consulting work in the corporate finance world. I document kind of both journeys of the eBay and real estate through this channel in hopes to help anyone else interested in those topics. If you're new to my channel, welcome, and if you are returning, I appreciate the support as always. Per the title of this video, I just recently bought a 750 new tag shelf pull quality clothing from a new supplier. I haven't bought in bulk since last year. I bought 3,000 pair, which is 4 pallets of new without tags returns and new without tag shelf pulls from LL Bean. Learned a lot through that process. Have kind of just learned and evolved and made some changes in my model and business throughout this last year. And now I was ready again to start buying in bulk. And so this was the first kind of trial with this supplier. I've tried a couple other ones recently, just some small batches, and haven't been very happy with the consistency of having availability. So try the new one here. I am not being compensated off this review. Just want to put that out front. This is actually just wanted to show you. I've had a ton of questions about who I got it from, what was I happy with it, all the usual questions. And this is a pretty public supplier, so I'm not really like, it's not like it's a secret connection where I'm worried about flooding the marketplace with it. They've got a lot of inventory available, and I think it's at a pretty fair price for the stuff I'm looking for, but it's definitely not for everyone. But again, not similar. I had done a Blue Lots review before, and I was getting a credit to buy for them, and so this one's much different. I am not being compensated that way, so I just wanted to get that out in the open. This is live, so let me just see. We got 21 people watching, and it's going to be really tough. I couldn't really do an unboxing of this order because it was so big. But if you follow me on Instagram, I did post for like a 4-picture sequence, a little video of me picking up. I actually picked up the order from a distribution center here. I had it shipped there instead of to my house. And so they forklifted on the U-Haul, brought it back to my house, unloaded it in the bins and all that. So I'll talk about that kind of process throughout this video as well. But I did just want to touch on kind of the supplier in general. It is called Smash Lots. And just like it sounds, I have a link in the descriptions video at the top, just of their website. I'm going to share my screen real quick and show you guys their website and just kind of talk about what they have, what they don't have. Like I said, it's definitely not for everyone, but if you're ready or at that scale where you're looking to buy in bulk, might be a good opportunity for you. So this is their website, Smash Lots. And they have, I wrote a couple notes down here just so I didn't get lost while I was doing this. But they offer a bunch of different categories. I'm only interested in clothing. That's just what I sell. That's what I know. So it's hard for me to evaluate much else that they offer. But I did want to note that they do offer outside of clothing. They have home and kitchen, other textiles, shoes, jewelry. And I guess talking with the guy who's been helping me, his name's Jasper. They're adding a lot of big box retailers as well. So there'll be some more Target stuff and things along that nature. The kind of unique thing about them is that, and I think it's similar to Blue Lots too. I don't know if similar is the right word, but they offer smaller lots too. So it doesn't have to be, and let's just go to all products for a second. So you don't have to buy massive quantities. So if you look here, so they have like 36 units. These are kind of like a higher end bundle. Whereas I was looking for a big quantity. I went for like 750 items of plus size new tags women's clothing. But I think that this is like a decent stepping stone for someone who hey, I want to buy 100 units and just kind of see how it goes. Maybe you're not ready to process a pallet. Not gonna lie, it's a lot of work. It's worth it to me now that I have people helping me. I have up to 5 contractors I have who prep items and list them for me. So I needed that large quantity to kind of keep the machine going and keep it growing. Whereas if you're a one-man show, it might make more sense to buy some of these smaller lots, or it might make sense not to do that yet because you're still growing your business and getting capital from thrift stores. And thrift stores, honestly, is a fantastic ROI for a little investment. So it just really depends what the goals of your business is. But just scrolling through, you can see there's sold out of some of these smaller ones. I think the smaller lots have seemed to go a little faster than the bigger ones. I'm gonna click on the collections here. Let's go view all, and I'm just navigating here. So let's see. So here's some bigger ones, right? So 758 units, 400 units, 484 units. So there's still some bigger ones up here as well. There's 31 units. And one of the things that I would recommend is when you work with them is to email Jasper directly, because like you can just go to the site and pull the trigger on it if you really want it. But I think there's a lot of advantage to talking through the manifest with them, because they do offer the manifest and you can go through it in detail. I think let's just click on this one. It's not sold out. Yeah, so you can download the manifest right here as an Excel form and view it, which will make it easier for researching, which is what I did. But yeah, I would work directly with him, and I think his contacts for yeah. So this is who I worked with along the way. I'm definitely going to order with them again. I can say that honestly. It was a really good experience, and I'm going to stop sharing now. All right, I think I'm back there. So kind of getting back to my order. So when I ordered, just to give context, when I ordered the LL Bean, the 3,000 pair of new without tags pants, that wasn't quite shelf pull quality. There was, I wouldn't consider it anyways. Most of it was new without tags. And there was about 15% waste. When I remember that, as like 15% of the quantity was unsellable. Like I couldn't sell it. So that means I paid for those units, but I didn't get to sell them anyways. Now I ordered this one at 750 units, so about a fourth of what I ordered before, or pretty much exactly a fourth. And it was only off by I think 11 items total. And I mean, that's not bad at all. And Jasper's already talked to me about how to write that and kind of fix that gap, because they really do stand behind their manifest, which is what I'm finding out, which is nice. But in my mind, and I kind of told them up front, I'm like, honestly, after the experience I went through, for it to be within 11 units for an order that big, I thought that was pretty decent from anyone I've talked to who buys in bulk. So, but yeah, I've listed probably almost 100 of them I've processed so far, the 750. I should have the whole order processed in probably about 2 weeks based on the volume my contractors can handle right now. And I'm getting ready. I'm likely going to order either 2 or 4 pallets. I haven't really decided yet how many I'm going to go with. Really depends on space. I'm trying to figure out that logistics. I run, just for context too, if you're new to my channel. So because I do consulting and contract work during the day, so 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, I run my whole business out of my home. So I do this all outside of those hours. So when I'm trying to organize like delivery of pallets, it's not as easy as just, deliver it between 9 and 5, I'll be here. Like I have to figure out ways to either work from home and receive it, or take off time and go to a distribution center, pick it up where they ship it to. So there's a lot of logistics that I have to work through. And you really should think about that too if you're a one-man shop or you're working out of your home. Is like it's extra shipping to get a lift gate in. And what I mean by a lift gate is, because I learned all this as I went, I knew nothing about this. When a commercial truck comes in to unload, those aren't prepared to unload off of the back of the truck. They think they're going to come up to a dock and just they'll forklift it out or whatever, and an even surface. In residential, they need a lift gate so they literally can put the pallet on it and use a pallet jack and then lower it to the ground and then pull it off. And that costs a lot of extra money. So just something to think about when you're doing shipping of bigger orders. You won't have that issue if you're doing cases. And that was the other thing I wanted to notate. So the shipping actually wasn't bad. I think all in it was like $300 maybe for everything. I'd have to go back and look at the exact numbers, but it wasn't that bad. And on top of it not being bad, it was 7 business days I think I had it in. And it would have been sooner had I not been on vacation. I had to delay it. So, but basically what they stand behind right now is that they can get pallets down to about 8 business days. And they can get cases down to 3 business days. So like if you're doing those smaller orders, I think they can get them to you pretty quick. And 3 business days is pretty reasonable in my mind. And someone just asked in the chat what I got. I got women's plus size clothing, 750 items. And I'll show a couple of them I have over here. But yeah, so that's kind of their timetable for delivering right now. And so again, small sample size. I've had 1 order with them. I'm going to continue to order, and as usual on this channel, I'll be pretty transparent and tell you whether I'm happy or not happy. As you can tell, I don't order from Blue Lots anymore, mostly because they just don't have a lot of apparel, and I can't wait around and be the first one there for a lot of the apparel stuff. I need someone who's steady and I can rely on. And Drummer just joined in, so I just talked about the waste. It was only off by 12 items total at 750. And he's already talked about ways to make up for that for me. So, I mean, I can't complain. Something's off by 12 items. I thought that was perfectly acceptable for an order this big. So yeah, the only complaint I have, and it's not even a complaint because I think it's just a reality as I'm learning more about shelf clothing, is so I think I had 20 pieces that still has security tags on them. And talking with some other resellers, that's pretty normal for this type of stuff. And it's like 20 pieces out of 750 is not bad. And I've YouTube videos on all of these on how to get them off. So it's just the time to get them off kind of is annoying, but I can get them off without damaging the clothing, so it shouldn't be too bad. But just to give an example, like this, so this is an Alfani dress, and it comes. The tag came this way, as you see. It's like kind of a return tag. And they have the other thing, like kind of processing, you can see all the clearance stickers, is I have to use a peeler and get that off because I don't want to display that in my photos. But besides that, I mean, it's like I said, it's new tags, no flaws. I mean, decent, and all the styles that I picked, I did take my time, and I worked with Jasper for a while to come up with like which lot I wanted. I researched a lot of them, and I ended up picking one that I thought the styles were more current from a women's standpoint, especially since we're kind of spring summerish, and I think plus size is a little better. And yeah, you can have different tools. You can get magnets to remove that. I think that one. There's like 4 different types I've come across in here, and there's different ways to get all of them off. But you can do it. The ink ones are the ones you have to really worry about, not getting too messy, but not bad overall. And I mean, most of my buy cost, I think I was right around 5 1/4 a unit, maybe. Trying to think with shipping. Yeah, it was just a little over 5 1/4 a unit. And I think the average sale price is probably going to be, and again, this is me guessing off my research. I think all in, if you average the top half and the bottom half and the middle half, it will be somewhere between like that $25 to $28 average sale price, maybe pushing 30 based on some of the ones I've been listing that are a little higher dollar value. But for me, and this is why I think it's different than based on what stage you're at with your business. For me, it makes sense. Like that math works because I'm able to list. I mean, I'm pretty much at capacity now. I think that I can start listing close to 600 or 700 items a month. So it makes sense for me if I have capacity to do that many items. 5 into 25, 5 into 28 all day long makes perfect sense, especially because it's only costing me a max of $2.50 to get each item listed, and that's a one-time fee and it's up forever. So like that to me is such a reinvestment in my business of instilling extra income, earning potential in there. And I've actually been doing a lot of the photos myself for some of these and uploading them to. I have someone who's a contractor remotely for me who's drafting listings. So that's only costing me the $1.25. So it's one of those things where I'm just trying to keep that momentum going, and that's why I'm already talking about my next order because I'm going to get these up and just keep rolling and see how it goes. That's been a luxury for me that I've had the capital to do it because I've been reinvesting in my own business for so long. But yeah, someone just said, are there multiples? Yes, there are multiples. But one of my pet peeves when I was looking at this is I learned from my LL Bean order. I had too many multiples and they were all around the same sizes, and it really hurt my sell-through. They're still selling, and I still have made way more than my money back in the LL Bean order, but I wanted more diversity in this one because I thought that was important. And so there's multiples in here. I think there was probably 20 or 30 different styles that had like 4 to 6 a piece in them, which is nice because it's only one listing. But then there's a lot of uniques too, and that's what I really wanted. I wanted a good mix, and it's mostly tops. I'd say like maybe 5 or 10% is like pants. There's like 5% was some like different shorts, like jean shorts, athletic shorts. And then like there's probably like 2% that was like it definitely was the bottom half of the order got thrown in, like some tank tops and stuff that they're not going to do very well. They're kind of a loss leader. I mean, I'll make a little bit, like $1 or $2 profit on it, but nothing much. But that's what you're going to get. And I've talked about that before, right? When you buy a big order like this, you're going to get the top half of the manifest that looks super attractive. You're gonna get that top probably third that just looks amazing. You're gonna get the middle third that's gonna be like, it's solid. It's kind of like your bread and butter. And then you're gonna get a bottom third that's kind of pushing that break even or just slightly above profitable, and that blends it down. And that's just kind of something that you got to deal with. And you got to hope that over time, as you buy in bigger quantities, and that's something that I'm stretching for, right? If I can offer to buy in bigger quantities from their suppliers, I probably can negotiate better pricing. Your purchasing power and taking that much inventory out of your hands gives you a lot more leverage than when I buy one pallet. I don't have as much leverage. Like it's just like, yeah, it is what it is, and it's still profitable. So I'm going to do it and develop that relationship. But yeah, that's kind of just want to jump on here and kind of tell people I've gotten so many messages from my Instagram posts about like, hey, how's it going? And honestly, I've just been head down since Friday getting it sorted. I'll kind of talk through the process of how I got the pallet broken down, because I think that's important if anyone decides to buy a pallet. So if you get it shipped to a distribution center, which honestly isn't that bad, it seems intimidating, but it's not bad. I had it shipped to a distribution center locally. It was rolled into the shipping cost. I rented a U-Haul truck at like 12:30 in the afternoon. I drove, it was like 15 minutes, 20 minutes away from me. Drove with the U-Haul. It's a 10-foot box truck. Got there. They loaded it on for me with a forklift. No, like I didn't have to do any of that. They loaded it right on. I drove straight back to my house, to my driveway, backed it in. I already had about 30 bins that I use for inventory storage that I give to my listers ready on the driveway, ready to go. I backed in, took a box cutter, opened it up, like spread it out, and I just started sorting right into the bins, 30 counts every single time, perfect quantities that I give my listers, so I knew what was in there. I was able to inventory it by doing it that way. I was able to keep the multi-quantity stuff for the most part together to make it easier to list, sort it by styles, a little bit. And it took me probably an hour and a half maybe. Did that, took the U-Haul back and loaded everything in my garage, got it ready, and it's been good to go since there. So, I mean, probably 4 hours all in to do that, and that's 750 items that are now ready for my listers, ready to go. So for me, it's a huge benefit and investment in time in my business. It's worked out really well. That's what I would recommend if you don't do the lift gate. If you do the lift gate, it's even better, even less of your time, because they're delivering it right to your driveway. So in that case, the only thing I would recommend is make sure you have a pallet jack, because what's going to happen is with a lift gate, they're going to drop it there. And unless you can bribe the driver to move it for you, which usually they're not supposed to, I did bribe my last driver from the LA Bean one. I gave him $100 to do it, but he wasn't really supposed to. Have a pallet jack ready so you can move it up your driveway or do wherever you want, because they're basically just going to unload it right there at the end of your driveway, and that's it, like hands off. So that's kind of my other suggestion for you. But yeah, I think that's everything. I just wanted to jump on an update. I'm trying to think if I'm leaving anything off. I'm really not. Someone asked how my listers are working out. They're working out great. And honestly, again, I'll put the plug in here. I only have resellers working, like doing contract work for me. So there are other resellers growing their businesses locally. More than willing to take on more people if they're interested. I pay, pretty transparent, I pay $250 a listing from start to finish, doing photos and photos, measurements, and drafting ink frog, or I pay $1.25 to do photos, measurements, and upload to Dropbox for one of the people who does it virtually for me. So I'm actually currently looking for more people to do photos, just photos and measurements at $1.25, and upload them to Dropbox for me, because my VA has, I call it VA, I guess, but she's remote and she has a ton of capacity right now, and she's excellent at drafting titles. But yeah, so far so good. I've had one contractor who's about to roll off, who started from the beginning. He's great, developed a great friendship with him. I mean, we'll continue being friends for a long time. And I think that's what's been so great about this model of trying to get contractors is I've really got to meet other like-minded resellers. It's not like I'm just getting random people who are looking to make a quick buck. Like the people who really want to learn about the business, want to get in the business, want to grow their business, want more capital. And so that's been really fun. And it hasn't been like heart-wrenching when like he's like, oh, I'm ready to be done. I was like, okay, like I totally understand. And, I just keep trying to add people and just keep growing as I go. So, but yeah, just that plug there. I put that plug out earlier, and I think someone's in the chat, I think I saw it, who is going to give it a roll this Sunday. So, figured I'd put that out. The VA is kind of local. She's like Raleigh area. So not too far from me, driving distance if I ever wanted to meet up. And yeah, not bad on the ROI, Monica. It's, to me, 5 into 25 is kind of, I think, would be my floor for processing my time, the investment of the capital. I think that's like my floor. What ideally would be is to get down to like that $3 a unit, like to buy in bigger quantities, get down to like $3 a unit and still maintain that 25 to 28, because that extra couple bucks gives a lot of wiggle room to hire out more help in different areas. Because I think what's going to happen, and I'm trying to be very strategic about this, is like right now I'm handling all the fulfillment. So I'm handling all the packing and shipping of every sale, right? I'm storing all the inventory on site at my house. My garage is filling up in a hurry. Like I'm going to run out of space, and I'm going to have to reinvest somehow into either people to help with some processing or a different space to do the processing, to store and make things easier. Because at some point the back end will catch up with the amount of listings that I'm throwing in. I think what's most ideal for me right now is that as we enter summer slowdown, I'm injecting all this volume, because that slight delay in the sales volume, even though they'll pick up and I think I'll keep growing even through the summer slowdown, is the slower growth. Like if I had done this in fourth quarter versus now, it would have been hard for me by myself, like working full time and doing this, to keep up with all the back end. That probably would have like been pulling my hair out. But I think with the summer, it's like the perfect opportunity to give me 2 or 3 months as I keep ramping to figure out how to handle the back end of it. So, but yeah, pretty exciting times. I mean, I'm pretty pumped about it. Again, first experience with this company has been good. For people, I get tons of questions all the time. How do I find suppliers? How do I find suppliers? You know, here's one that you can take a shot at. There will be ones over time where I get some closer relationships that I won't share, because, you know, there's only so much to go around. But again, this one's public. They're out there. They've been contacting lots of people. They're resellers. Like, it's not going to be a secret. And I mean, and I think there's a couple like Facebook groups too that do wholesale that they're in. I mean, they're not going to be a secret, so I don't feel bad giving it out. I'll take any last minute questions, and then I actually have a basketball game tonight, so I'm gonna go get a good sweat in and hopefully win. But I'll take any questions you guys have. And if you don't have any, that's fine too, because that gives me 15, 20 minutes. I can go get some more photos done and send over to a lister to get run. All right. I don't see any questions, so I'm going to wrap up, guys. Appreciate everyone stopping in. Oh, someone said how to find VAs. I'll answer that real quick. So I have kind of pretty unique strategy, whereas I just post and ask for help from other resellers. Basically, just I offer, if you want capital for your business, or you have reselling experience and you're just looking to make capital, like I can do a flat, you know, exchange, you know, services. You prep and I pay. So that's really how I do it. Hopefully that makes sense to you. It's not going to be the same for everyone. I have a social media brand, so it's easier for me to do that. It might not be as easy for someone who doesn't, just being transparent about that as well. But yeah, like jeans not includes. There was jeans. Actually, no, there's been some jeans in this order. But they're more like colorful denim, like kind of like that stylish, like themed denim, more like spring summery stuff, some like nautical stuff. But yeah, there was denim in there. There was some just straight denim too, some distressed jeans, a couple of things, all plus size. So also, I will say before I sign off, one of the big reasons I also picked the plus size women's clothing is that women's clothing on a whole tends to be cheaper to ship than men's. And so I knew the margins were a little tighter than I usually operate in. So I tried to pick things like that I knew I could hedge a little bit. Like I could budget for it, like I was going to ship a men's item, and then kind of get that cushion of that extra $1, $1.50 that I'll get back shipping first class a lot. So just a little tip there if you're looking, you know, when you're putting out several $1,000s, right, for an order, it's like some of those things really matter. Flipping Daily asks, average listing per week by each lister. It varies widely. So I had 2 starting out who were doing the full process. I had one who was doing basically 40 every week, and I had one who was doing 60 every week. And then the other person scaled back to like 40 every 2 weeks, and then that's one of the persons who rolled off. I now have a person who does 60 every week. I've got a person starting Sunday who's going to start with 30, and then we'll see what her capacity is and how she likes it. That's going to be just photos and measurements, so she might ramp up more there. Or no, she's doing the whole process. I'm sorry. And I have another one I'm meeting on Sunday who's doing just the photos and listings. So we'll see how many they do. I start everyone just 30 just to see how it goes, kind of figure out the capacity. The VA, she's fantastic. She sold on eBay before, writes great titles, and she cranks through listings. I actually can't keep up giving her enough photos to list. So that's one of the things I'm focusing on right now, is finding people to just do the photos and measurements for to keep it rolling. Yeah, that's flipping data. That's the other reason why I targeted resellers, was in order to establish that contractor relationship where they invoice me for their services so that they're not an employee. They have to have their own setups on the equipment. Like if I'm loaning them equipment to use, that's establishing like an employee relationship. So you have to be really careful with that. And you got to know your state laws. Like I consulted very heavily with my CPA, before doing this for my state. And how I kind of handle that. And I'll do a separate video kind of on that, because there's a lot more to that. But yeah, they have their own stuff, Flipping Daily. I am not doing free returns. Someone just asked. I haven't been top rated seller my entire time selling on eBay. I've never been top rated seller. I've never tried to get it. It's not profitable. I don't save enough money for the heartache of trying to do it. mostly because I'm a part-time seller. Like being a part-time seller is difficult. Like it's just hard. Like I know. And quick answer is no. I don't knock anyone who does. I mean, I don't really want to debate right now what's good, what's bad. I know that's what everyone wants to have the conversation about, but to me, it's like you got to do what works for you. I don't do free returns. I charge for shipping. I like that model right now. Until they make me stop, that's what I'm gonna do. I do wonder as I disproportionately get more new tag stuff and buy in bulk if I'm gonna have to start though, because I'm wondering like the used clothing market's one thing. When you get into new tags clothing, the competition might be a lot more fierce, and so that's why I'm like I even noticed like BFHO. A lot of the stuff I bought, they sell the same of, which tells me, I mean, most of the stuff is from Macy's shelf pulls. So it looks like they sell a lot of that same stuff, a lot of same styles, everything. They charge shipping on some they don't, some they run auctions. They have a system of how they do things. They're a massive, probably, I think they're probably the biggest apparel reseller, one of the biggest anyways. Fantastic operation. So I just got to keep an eye on that from the new tags perspective because it's a lot different than like the used unique market one-off, but I'm not going to do it for a while. And yeah, fabulous. I mean, the whole debate with the whole top rated seller thing in general is right. You got to kind of do like that opportunity cost of is all the extra time you're putting in to maintaining top rated seller and all the things you're conceding, is that leading to more sales, or is it saving you enough money in discounts by having it versus if you had that time to reinvest in your business, would that be more fruitful? And that's what you have to decide for yourself. I think everyone has their own answer based on the amount of time it takes them and the systems they have and what they're selling. There's so many variables. So you kind of just got to figure that out for yourself. But all right, guys, I do have to wrap up now, though. I'm looking at my time. Thanks so much for stopping in. Drop any questions you have below. The quickest way to get in touch with me is through Instagram, direct message, or just comment on a post. I usually am pretty good about that. It usually takes me a day or two, but I get back to most people. But hopefully that makes sense. I hope you guys are doing awesome. I hope you're excited about the summer. I hope everyone's excited about reselling in general. I mean, I feel like we've lost a lot of competition over the last few months. A lot of people have gotten discouraged and left. And unfortunately or fortunately for me, that excites me because that just means there's more opportunity. So take care, guys.